Well, a few weeks ago, people were saying that the fact that Virginia Giuffre had claimed that she only had 4 days to live after a car crash, when clearly it was a fairly minor prank, showed that she was possibly an unreliable witness. And I think some friends of Prince Andrew thought that that meant that there might be a way back for him on the basis that perhaps she hadn't been telling the truth in the past. Now, of course, with her tragic death, I think that's a complete non-starter. I think Andrew will be feeling very shocked. I think he will possibly be feeling guilty. I have to say, I don't believe him when he says he never met Virginia. The photograph of them, the infamous photograph, I believe to be genuine. And I don't see that there's any way back for him in as a working royal in the near future, if at all. And sadly for him, I think that her tragic suicide makes it even more difficult. I think a lot of people will be feeling that she was a vulnerable person who was exploited in the past. And rightly or wrongly, people have different opinions on this. But I think that the public opinion, the jury, has very much decided that it's not acceptable for him to be a working royal. I think the King thinks that. I think Prince William thinks that. Looking forward to the future of the monarchy, and I just don't see that he can get any way back. The only way he might get back is possibly, you may remember with the Emily Maitlis interview, he said that he wanted to help victims of sexual abuse. And if he could get involved in some sort of charity to do with that, possibly Princess Eugenie, his daughter's charity involving anti slavery, perhaps that would be a way back for him, something that he could quietly work away on in the background. But at the moment, most charities don't want to know him. He's had all his patronages and his military titles taken away from him. And I just don't see a comeback happening, even though I do know that deep down he would like to make one. I think he would be deluded to think he's got a way back, certainly in the short term. And we saw he wasn't particularly. He made a decision not to go to Sandringham at Christmas last year. He was seen with the king, with the other royals at Easter, and I don't think anyone would exclude him from family events and from religious events. And so we're still going to see him at Easter, at Christmas, probably at holidays up in Scotland with the king in Balmoral during the summer. I don't think anyone would deny him that. He can't just crawl into a hole and do absolutely nothing for the rest of his life. But in terms of being a working royal, I just don't see any way back for him. Certainly not for many years. And he'd have to make some kind of miraculous Profumo esque recovery, working away, as I say, on a charity for him to be rehabilitated and find a road to redemption. But at the moment, I think it's very difficult. And certainly Virginia's tragic suicide makes it even harder, in my opinion. Well, it's very difficult for him. We see him occasionally out riding, don't we? We see him occasionally having a game of golf with friends. He's now, of course, got four grandchildren who I'm sure he dotes on. So I'm sure that he likes spending family time with them, the children of his daughters, Bea and Eugenie. So he has got certain things to fill his time, but I'm sure he feels frustrated. He hasn't really been abroad. I think he's only been abroad once in the last sort of 5 or 6 years since this whole scandal sort of erupted. I think he's terrified of going abroad. Certainly, I don't think he'll ever go to America again. I think he fears being arrested or given some sort of subpoena for a civil case there, or somebody else decides they're going to accuse him of wrongdoing. So his options are very limited. He's not travelling as much as he used to. He's not getting out and about, and his life has become fairly sort of mundane. But so as I say, he's only in his early 60s. It's going to be very difficult for him to fill his time. But he really needs to try and find some sort of cause if someone will have him, so that he can put some energy into that and try and sort of claw his way back. But at the moment, I think it's very difficult.